Alright, what's up? It's Coach Slack. Real quick, I want to talk about another reason why you may not be performing at your best in games. This one is for my parents. This one is for coaches. This one is for children as well, players, old and young. The reason why you don't play well, false expectations. False expectations. Parents train their kids to be great at a young age, to be, oh yeah, they like this sport, so we're going to pursue that, and we're going to teach them how to be good in this sport. And they give them the, skill. They, try to put them in as many camps as they can, but I feel like the skill work is not enough. You need to train their mind as well, because yeah, they might be tough, as in they get knocked down, they get right back up. They get bullied in football, or they get punched in the face in basketball, or elbowed in the face, and they get right back up. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about mentally tough to where they can endure things that may happen. Once you get to a certain level of good, haters come with that. So sitting right next to them, their teammates might be hating on them. Right? And that might affect how they play in the game. If you know everybody else on the court doesn't like you, because you are the best player on the team, how does that make you play? Right? And you might say, oh, well, that's not a big deal. Like, yes, it is, because a lot of players, period, old and young, don't know how to deal with that type of energy. Like, it's bad energy, and it makes you play bad. One. Coaches and parents. Coaches, let's start with coaches. Coaches yelling at you for not doing this and not doing that, when you constantly hear the yelling part and, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that? That affects how they play if they are not mentally strong. Parents. And this is a big one. Parents. We have an expectation for our children, and I don't have children. I am just a coach. But I've had the same experience with a lot of different parents. And they've worked with their kids at a young age, and they say, well, why don't they carry that into the games as they get older? Here's your answer. They don't carry it into the games when they get older. Like, I taught them how to, protect the ball really well when they were younger, or, something like that. They don't do it no more. The biggest thing is your expectation that you have for them, they don't have that same expectation for themselves. Right? So the thing that you taught them when they were younger, that's the first thing that goes out the window. And I've had this experience with a lot of different parents and a lot of different kids. That's the first thing that goes, because they don't see what you see. They don't know what you know. You might think you have the next LeBron James. And you say, well, I've been treating them like the next LeBron James since they were like 10. I've always treated them like that. It doesn't matter. That does not matter, because you see them as the next LeBron James. How do they see themselves? How do they see themselves? Do they believe they're the next LeBron James? So how could you expect them to play like it if they don't even believe that? That's your expectation versus their expectation. Do they have an expectation of themselves? Number one. Do they have an expectation of themselves? And number two, do they believe in that expectation? Do they have confidence in that expectation? If your expectation for them is to drop 20 a game, it's like, okay, that's yours. For them, their expectation might be to drop 10. Okay, cool. But now, do they believe they can drop 10 a game, every game? That's a whole nother thing. Like, I can think about dunking, but do I really believe I can dunk? That's the mental toughness that I'm talking about. If your kid doesn't have that, how do you expect them to perform at a level that is greater than what they even think they are? So, and then another thing that kids do is the whole hide. You might think they're playing late. Another thing they do is You might think they're playing lazy. You might think that they don't want to be out there. You might think that they look confused or whatever the case may be. But really, they are hiding. Kids hide when they're playing because they don't want to be seen. The expectation. If it's the expectation from you, the expectation from the coaches, from the teammates. If I hide and I move or I just stand in the corner, not really doing much, you can't expect anything out of me. Right? If I, act like I'm playing defense, even though I'm not really playing super hard defense, and I try and get the steal and I might go for a layup and I might miss it, but I look like I tried to make it, you know what I'm saying? That's overthinking for one. And number two is they do that because of the expectation you have placed on them. They don't have an expectation for themselves. It's all yours. So maybe I know my dad's going to yell at me, but if I look like I tried, maybe he won't. Or if I stay out of the way, my coach won't have anything to really yell at me about. So that's really the biggest thing. If you guys really look at it and just look at your kid on the court, right? Or even adults who play, or, college kids that play, start here. If your kid looks, or if you look like you don't know what's going on, or if you try to stay out of the play, trying not to have the ball as much as possible, or if you are a good player on a team, and you're expected to have the ball as much as possible, how do you react to it? Does your brain go into overdrive? Or do you just play? Because the best part of the game is just playing it, having fun with it. If you're not doing that, then you have too big of an expectation and you need to reevaluate it. You need to set an expectation for yourself, have confidence in that expectation, and say, forget everybody else, block out the noise, and perform at your highest level. Appreciate you for watching.